Cleveland, Clevelad, and Cleveland Muse are all elite rarity light cruisers from the Eagle Union, and are the namesakes of the Cleveland class of light cruisers. Cleveland is available from the Medal of Honor Requisition, Guild Shop for 800 tokens, or drops from 4-4, 5-3, 11-3, 12-2, 14-4, A/C3 of Visitors Died in Red, and A/C2 of Fallen Wings and Crimson Echoes. Clevelad is only available from Light Construction, and Cleveland Muse is only available from Light Construction or the previous limited construction during the Crescendo of Polaris event. Cleveland was launched from the New York Shipbuilding Corporation on the 1st November 1941, commissioned on the 15th of June 1942, decommissioned on the 7th of February 1947, stricken on the 1st of March 1959, and sold for scrap on the 18th of February 1960. Cleveland did the usual tasks an American light cruiser did in the Second World War. Here are her more interesting exploits. Defended a troop convoy on its way to Guadalcanal in the Battle of Rennell Island. Joined Task Force 68 and participated in the Battle of Blackett Strait, which ended with IJN Minagumo and Murasame sinking. Intercepted a Japanese force in the Battle of Empress Augusta Bay. Aided in the sinking of IJN Sendai. Destroyed shore batteries after being shot back at during a practice bombardment. Rescued USS Norman Scott after it was hit 6 times by shore batteries. Had General Douglas MacArthur and his staff come aboard as observers for the assault on Balikpapan. In her character art drawn by Howe, Cleveland wears a white and blue zip-up jacket, black and red pleated skirt, white lace-up panties, a white cloak with black zipper stripe, red bits of armor, and anchor zipper pole, black fingerless gloves, star-spangled knee-high socks, radar hair tie, and red and white basketball shoes with large red wings. Her rigging consists of 2 armatures that are connected to her waist and flank both sides of her person. To her right, there is a split hull with wooden deck and 2 double-barreled naval cannons on the top. To her left is another split hull with wooden deck, 2 triple-barrel naval cannons on top, 2 50 cal AA guns, and a flight deck with crane. Behind her is a radio mast. In her character art drawn by Elisa, Clevelad wears the exact same outfit as her standard version. The only notable differences are the cloak is now more of a cape, she has a manju on her hip, the shoes are now more like loafers, she has multiple off-brand Nestle chocolate products, 2 bars and a tin of cocoa mix, a manju beside her head, 2 stars, one she points at and the other beside her head, and her rigging and hair tie are now on the opposite sides. In her character art drawn by the Manju Art Group, Cleveland Muse wears a very tight-fitting white button-up shirt with a red and white striped tie and sheriff's badge on it. Underneath a black dress coat with short sleeves, tight leather short shorts with holes on the sides, and a white belt. White fingerless gloves, brown socks with garters, a black hair tie, and black loafers. Her rigging is the exact same as her base version, with the addition of multiple holographic drums, a speaker on the flight deck, steel decks, and records underneath the hulls. In their voice lines, all voiced by Saya Horigome, who also voices Type 63 and Type 64 in GFL, Cleveland, Clevelad, and Cleveland Muse are all confident about themselves.
新しいメールだぞ。指揮官は私と同じ人気者だ。クリーブランド級の長女。まあ、名前見ればわかるさ。軽順だけど、力は従順にも負けないぞ。将来は海で活躍するんだから、当然だよな。止まっちゃダメよ。全員まとめてかかってこい。私は怖くないぞ。ライブに大事なのは自信。自分が輝けると思ってこそ輝く。これすごくかっこいいこと言った気がする。ま、今までも何度かみんなの前で歌う機会があったからな。緊張はしないぜ。それにメインボーカルやってるわけじゃないんだしさ。軽巡洋艦クリーブランドだ。あの対戦では妹たちと妹たちと一緒に結構活躍したんだぞ。今回は特殊兵装を装備して歌の力で戦ってみせる。 私、自信があるぞ。指揮官にはマッサージしてやる。耐えてくれよ。かー！自分の選択に後悔しないことだ。クリーブランド級の長女。まあ、名前見ればわかるさ。レンネル島の戦いや、エンプレスオーガスタ湾の戦いなど、いろいろ戦い抜いてバトルスターを13個も得たぐらいだから、そりゃあ相当強いんだぞ。急いでいるんだ。全員まとめてきてもいいぜ。新しい任務だ。一気に片付けよう。
At level 125 with max affinity and enhancements, Cleveland has 4,406 HP, 167 firepower, 330 AA, 191 reload, 109 evasion, light armor, 32 speed, 168 accuracy, 71 luck, 102 anti-sub, and consumes 10 oil. Clevelad, when at level 125 with max affinity and enhancements, has 3,684 HP, 164 firepower, 330 AA, 183 reload, 111 evasion, light armor, 32 speed, 163 accuracy, 71 luck, 102 anti-sub, and consumes 10 oil. And finally, Cleveland Muse, when at level 125 with max affinity and enhancements, has 3,925 HP, 164 firepower, 330 AA, 191 reload, 113 evasion, light armor, 32 speed, 168 accuracy, 71 luck, 102 anti-sub, and consumes 10 oil. Cleveland, Clevelad, and Cleveland Muse all have 2 skills and an AoA, with all their skills focusing on increasing damage output either through their main guns or AA guns. Cleveland's first skill, Assault Order, at level 10, every 20 seconds there's a 25% chance to increase damage dealt by all ships in the same fleet as Cleveland by 25% for 8 seconds. This doesn't stack with the same skill. Cleveland's second skill, Anti-Air Mode, at level 10, when Cleveland fires her AA guns, there's a 25% chance to buff her own AA by 40%, but decrease her own firepower by 20% for 3 seconds. This buffs her AA to 462 with no equipment or skills, and reduces her firepower to 134, again with no equipment or skills. Both Cleveland's and Clevelad's AoA looks like this, being procced every 10 times they fire their main guns. It does 600, 450, and 240 normal damage to light, medium, and heavy armor respectively. It shoots straight, so if you want to focus on one enemy, keep locked on. If you want to spread, move up and down. Clevelad's first skill, Caliber's Heart, at level 10, when Clevelad is sortied with any Cleveland-class ship, Biloxi, Birmingham, Cleveland, Cleveland Muse, Columbia, Denver, or Montpellier, she gets plus 15% AA and plus 10% accuracy. This buffs her AA to 380 without equipment or skills, and accuracy to 180 without equipment or skills. Clevelad's second skill, Caliber's Carrier, at level 10, when sortying as the lead ship in the Vanguard fleet, she takes minus 12% less damage. During battle, Lena and Lil Sandy take minus 8% shelling damage if they're in the same fleet as Clevelad. Cleveland Muse's first skill, Spirited Guidance, at level 10, every 15 seconds, Cleveland Muse's main gun ammo type is switched to Muse Purple for 8 seconds. These are normal shells with a 120%, 120%, and 100% modifier. I'm assuming that's against light, medium, heavy armor. And they travel at half the speed of a normal shell, but can home in on targets within a 25 unit range. Cleveland Muse's second skill, Passionate Tempo, at level 10, when an enemy plane is shot down within the fleet's AA range, that's the circle that shows up when planes are overhead, Cleveland Muse gets plus 8% AA for 8 seconds. This buff can be stacked up to 4 times or plus 32%. When at 4 stacks, this brings her AA to 436 without equipment or other skills. Her AoA looks like this, being procced every 10 times she fires her main guns. It does 360, 360, and 270 AP damage to light, medium, and heavy armor respectively. The shot pattern is the exact same as her standard version's AoA, so the same advice applies here. The recommended equipment for Cleveland, Clevelad, and Cleveland Muse is the quad 152mm MGM for the CL gun with the highest DPS, the twin 100mm Type 98 Kai for the best general use DD auxiliary that can break shields quickly, the twin 57mm L60 for the best general use AA gun, the repair toolkit for passive healing and survivability, the high perf steering gear for a buff to evasion and chance to dodge all attacks, and the crossbow for a buff to firepower AA and minus 5% damage taken from planes. We'll start from the worst of the three and make our way up to the best. Clevelad is quite similar to her other Eagle Union small ship counterparts, where she has lower stats than her normal version, while also working much better with other child alter ships, specifically Lena and Little Sandy. Her S1 guarantees a buff to her AA and accuracy if she's sortied with a sister ship, and her S2 reduces the damage she takes, as well as reducing the damage that Lena and Sandy take if they're in the same fleet as her. Skills aren't all that beneficial, and I wouldn't recommend using Clevelad whatsoever, as the fleet comp you'll need just to benefit from her skills isn't great, not to mention that she isn't meant for tanking despite her second skill, and her standard/Muse version is significantly better. Cleveland Muse is much more damage-centric than her other alters, specifically through her skill use. Her stats are only a few points higher or lower than her standard version, and her S1 is where the extra damage comes from, as it changes her ammo type to Muse Purple, allowing her to do more damage against different armors, with a focus on light and medium. Her S2 is a nice boost to her AA, which can stack 4 times, and doesn't require her to shoot down planes herself. And her AoA is AP, unlike the normal shells of her other counterparts. You do need to keep in mind that with the Muse Purple shells, they travel pitifully slow and home in on targets who could easily dodge them. Her S2 is good, yes, but only lasts for 8 seconds, meaning you'll constantly be needing to refresh that skill to keep that possible plus 32% AA buff. Overall, low priority to raise, especially since her standard version is a decent bit better. Speaking of her standard version, Cleveland has a decent AA, 2 main gun mounts with 130% efficiency, and good survivability with her HP and evasion. Her S1 buffs the entire fleet's damage dealt, not just firepower, but the actual damage they deal by 25% for a decent 8 seconds, with her S2 just buffing her own AA, and AoA being standard fare for shooting a couple shots out when she fires 10 times. But she's no top player. Her S1 only procs every 20 seconds, meaning you'll have 12 seconds of downtime between when the plus 25% damage buff ends and when the skill can proc again. That's not mentioned, the skill proccing is a 1 in 4, 25% chance to even do so. Her S2 is the standard AA skill you can find on pretty much every light cruiser that buffs her AA but debuffs her firepower for a short 3 seconds. This is also a 1 in 4 chance. There's also the issue of availability, being only through stage drops, MOH Gacha, or guild tokens. I'd give Cleveland a medium-low priority to build, if you even manage to get her. She's decent enough for the first few chapters, but you'll easily see her replaced by the likes of San Diego, her sister Biloxi, and any of the PR light cruisers, so on and so forth. Hell, even Phoenix is better than her in my opinion. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Azur Lane videos as well. I just covered the entirety of the new The Full Scales event in Azur Lane, so I'd really appreciate it if you check out that playlist.